I've always considered Erlang to be an excellent general-purpose programming language. With that, the one-off projects that aren't systems or servers always had the bloat of OTP and never felt right. After writing a machine learning suite in Erlang, one that needed to run, then stop, it was time to have a tool that shed the some 60 unused modules and just run my Erlang code already, with little overhead. Thanks to the final few pages in the Joe Armstrong 2nd edition Erlang book, the path was cleared and the inspiration was founded for NOTP. NOTP is meant to be used as a depth dependency inside textbook Erlang applications designed to just run some code, then just stop, not unlike how eScripts could be utilized. Applications that need to run forever should utilize OTP and the app target release tactics. You can use rebar 3 to bundle NOTP into your Erlang application using the conventional depth strategy. The public repo for NOTP is as follows. NOTP needs a file named notp.config to be present in your project root, as it's called from the NOTP bootstrap routine. The shape of notp.config is as follows. Since the goal of NOTP is to minimize the modules loaded for use, it's up to you to dogmatically list the module names of your application within the local modules list. For example, it goes without stressing that other deps, if any, also need to be listed in this list. Moreover, pretend that your Erlang application uses the math and rand modules. While it's normally fine to assume that these will be accessible without thinking about it, with NOTP, you need to list underlying OTP modules within the support modules list explicitly. For your convenience, the lists and Erlang modules have already been accounted for, so you don't need to specify those two. Again, take the following for instance. If you neglect to include a needed module, you'll be greeted with an error down the road. In order to execute your application, one or more modules need to export a main arity 0 routine that the NOTP executable will call. It's good housekeeping to have an API module that triggers all your code in an isolated module. You can model this behavior by taking a look at notp_test.url. Nota bene, these API modules ought not get included in your NOTP config lists. Of course, need to be compiled though. In order to generate the various files to use NOTP, your code needs to be compiled and a bootstrap call needs to be made. Here is an example of how this is done when NOTP is a deps and your config file is up to snuff. It should be noted that init_stop is called by this bootstrapper. No need to include it in your URL command. With that, you'll be left with a NOTP executable in your project root, along with the requisite notp.boot file. You may want to keep these files out of your project's source control. With all this in place, zippy Erlang code execution is ready to go. Here's an example of how to use it. Note that the argument has no suffix, it's just the name of a given API module. Also note it will run your Erlang code without entering an Erlang shell. I tend to run code and spit out the results to standard out, but take a look at the exported routines of notp.url. All those goodies are available for use, and as such, quite a lot of ground can be covered with NOTP as your Erlang weapon of choice.